The last thing we want to talk about are the limitations of the model. The model is a linear model in the sense that it suggests that consumers move from one step to the next step. So first we have a need that's activated, then we search, then we evaluate, then we purchase, and then we evaluate the purchase. Now, in reality, the alternative is that often we fully evaluate the first brands that we come in contact with, and then if we decide not to purchase those brands, we search some more, and as we search, we evaluate. So we shop more in a serial or iterative manner. Search, evaluate, purchase, we stop, don't purchase, search again, evaluate again, purchase, we stop, not purchase, we go back to search. So the reason why this is kind of important, at least from a marketing standpoint, is that brands that are searched first, they'll be evaluated for purchase. And if they're purchased, the consumer will end his shopping. And so those first brands get the benefit of not being compared to any other competitors. So they enjoy a huge advantage. The second limitation is that the model assumes people are rational, that they think about their choices, they act logically, they give full consideration. And we know that that's not always true. And I know we talked about heuristic decision making, which is kind of rational. It just uses shortcuts. But even more different from that is that consumers often make decisions based upon their feelings. It's similar to the attitude model of a feeling, that we act on the feeling, we behave, and then later on we develop beliefs. So why do people do this? Well, first of all, their motivations, for these different feelings can come from psychosocial reasons. We're considering a brand and I'm thinking about how much better I'm going to feel about myself because I finally purchased a BMW. Or I'm going to think how my coworkers or colleagues or friends are going to think about me or my neighbors because I'm driving around in a BMW. And those emotions become really strong and they tend to dominate my thinking. On the other hand, there's a lot of products that, the feelings are more experiential from our senses. We can think about how things feel, they taste, the smells, or the enjoyment of doing it, an adrenaline rush, going on a roller coaster, seeing something and we just say, hey, I just want to do that. So oftentimes our emotions or feelings are what we first think about and they guide us in our decision making, not so much our thoughts and beliefs about the brands. And if we have dissonance, that's when that will come in afterwards. And then remember, some products are difficult to evaluate. They're just difficult. So we probably use our feelings, whether they're, come from psychosocial feelings or experiential. So jewelry, how it looks, perfume, cologne, how it makes me feel about how the way I smell or my wife will look. Artworks, all sorts of, products that where what is good is very subjective. It's really difficult to evaluate them logically, so we often rely on our feelings. I like the way it makes me feel. It's kind of cute. It says something to me. And then oftentimes too, purchases are associated with high levels of emotion. So the emotions win out. Buying an engagement ring, purchasing clothes for your first baby, picking out clothes to go to a prom or a graduation. Anything that has to do with important cultural or social events, there's often a lot of emotion and affect associated with that. So those come to the forefront, and often we use those feelings as guidance in terms of what we should pick and what brands we select. The last limitation is that the model, as I presented it at least, kind of ignores the impact of store choice. So when we go out to purchase something, or we go online, we often end up picking a retailer. And because we select a retailer first, that retailer probably doesn't carry every brand that's available. So while this model assumes that consumers really have access to find all the different brands that they're aware of, if they're motivated, the reality is, the alternative is, that often we go to a retailer first. And where am I going to get a chainsaw? Okay, Home Depot, Lowe's, or True Value, or Walmart. I'm going to go to Home Depot. And so I make the store choice first. I'm not really choosing what brands. And then when I get to Home Depot, I'm going to choose or evaluate I'll put the brands that are at Home Depot into my consideration set. And if I find, again, kind of combining the other limitation, if I do this serially so that I only evaluate the brands that are in front of me and I don't search some more, I'll probably end up only choosing from the brands at Home Depot. And so, again, my search is limited, okay, by which store I choose first. And we didn't explicitly include that into our model. So sometimes the choices that we make of where to search or where we might purchase need to be incorporated in the model. So that kind of sums up the major limitations of the model. And the other last note would be thinking about this model, and I may give this as a test question, is how does the model change, or how would you adapt it for how people make decisions now in a heavy e-commerce social environment, where shopping is a social event and people have